Good morning. My name is Dwight Kay, and I'm the state representative from the 112th District. That's the Metro East, and I represent the cities of Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Collinsville, Fairview Heights. That's, again, Southern Illinois. Since January 2016, the Office of Auditor General has been under close scrutiny with respect to how his campaign funds were used while serving as an Illinois state legislator from the 76th District. As we stand here today, investigations are being conducted by both state and federal agencies. In addition, lawmakers have suggested that Mr. Mautino step down. As a sitting state representative, I have also asked the State Board of Elections for assistance to the extent that they provide me receipts to explain or otherwise support expenditures made by Mr. Mautino for the time period in question. Other legislators since February 1 have in writing and on multiple occasions requested information concerning Mr. Mautino's particular and unconventional campaign expenditures. Mr. Mautino, our taxpayer watchdog and top auditor in Illinois, first asked for more time to gather information in order to answer questions, then reversed course, and after hiring a top legal team to represent him, refused to answer questions at all. We find ourselves here today asking in this resolution for the removal for cause, in accordance with our state constitution, of Frank Mautino as Auditor General. Listed to wit is information that some members of the General Assembly consider to be problematic. Number one, Illinois deserves an Auditor General free from any overhanging financial investigations, including federal investigations for potential illegal campaign expenditures and a state investigation of the same. We deserve an Auditor General beyond reproach and of the highest ethical standing. Number two, Illinois deserves a transparent Auditor General. We know from a letter dated June 24, 2016 from Mr. Mautino's attorney that Mr. Mautino, through his attorney, requested a stay filed with the State Board of Elections. That letter states, and I quote, that courts and other adjudicative bodies have routinely permitted a stay of a civil action as an appropriate action for addressing the Fifth Amendment dilemma created by a parallel federal investigation. Number three, Mr. Mautino was appointed to the position of Auditor General on October 20, 2016, and subsequent to that appointment, he solicited campaign contributions from lobbyists, ostensibly to pay off campaign debts and close his campaign committee. In fact, this most recent campaign filing with the State Board of Elections, with an end date just 3 weeks before, showed no debt and a sufficient amount of cash on hand to close his committee. As well, upon appointment, state law forbids the Attorney General from any dealings with political campaigns. While Mr. Mautino did not hold his new office as Auditor General until January 1, 2016, we believe he violated the spirit of the law by actively and personally soliciting donations after having been technically appointed to a new position. Number four, in May 2016, a spokesman for the Auditor General said that Mr. Mautino was cooperating with the U.S. Attorney's Office with respect to campaign fund expenditures. And further, number five, the Election Board also ordered Mr. Mautino to provide information about expenditures of campaign funds, including hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on gasoline and car repairs at the same service station in Spring Valley, Illinois. Over a 10-year period, many amounts exceeded $1,000, an inexplicable round number. And sometime thereafter, number six, since February 1, 2016, Mr. Mautino has delayed and then refused to answer questions from legislators asking for common sense answers to the questionable campaign spending. Most recently, State Representative Grant Worley, who was advised by Mr. Mautino's counsel that he would be receiving no information available that would be provided to Representative Worley or anybody else since a stay had been filed with the State Board of Election. And considering that, number seven, The duty of the Auditor General is to ensure integrity of government systems and related processes and procedures. Accordingly, all citizens of Illinois, as well as every member of the General Assembly, has a tacit right to be able to trust and have full faith in the office of the Auditor General. And further, number 8, that in the civil matter, Kirk Allen versus Illinois State Auditor General and Frank Mautino, operating in his capacity as Auditor General and represented by Lisa Madigan, Attorney General of the State of Illinois, admits in answer number 10 that the plaintiff Allen, FOIA's request did not contain certain records that are subject to the plaintiff's FOIA request. That would be Exhibit C and Exhibit G. Simply stated, Auditor General Mautino admits not correctly responding to FOIA requests. Number 9, Auditor General Mautino's Statement of Economic Interest, which is dated 3/26/16. Question number 7 was answered incorrectly. Question 7, list the name of any unit of government which employed the person making the statement during the preceding calendar year other than the unit of government in relation to which the person is required to file, close quotes. The answer provided by Auditor General Mautino is none. He was a state representative during the year 2015. As the Auditor General labors under the weight of state and federal investigations, which should continue or may continue for a long time, the citizens of Illinois and the General Assembly must have complete, unreserved confidence that the Office of Auditor General is able to operate effectively and without the hint of scandal. For reasons cited, the Auditor General is not able to perform his audit duties with the trust and confidence that Illinoisans deserve. Transparency from the Auditor General is a position where transparency attends to itself vis-a-vis his job description. Illinoisans deserve a clean government, and Auditor General Mautino has done nothing to suggest that he's up to that task. Today, I, along with my colleagues, are filing HJR 158, affording Auditor General Mautino the opportunity to appear before each House prior to any removal and to respond to charges contained in the House Joint Resolution. Furthermore, pursuant to Section 3 of Article 8 of the Constitution of Illinois, that by the vote of 3/5 of the members elected to each House, the General Assembly that Mr. Mautino once served in would remove him from office as Attorney General of the state of Illinois immediately. With that, I'll entertain any questions as well as my colleagues. I did happen to forget to mention that joining me today is Representative Keith Wheeler to my left, and to my right, Representative Jeannie Ives and Representative Tom Morrison. They'd be happy to take questions likewise. Well, everything in Springfield happens according to the wishes of Mike Madigan. I'm hoping the Speaker acts on this as quickly as possible. As I think the release outlines today, we're dealing with a matter of trust and confidence. We're dealing with citizens in the state of Illinois who, frankly, have a hard time understanding how this has gone on for such a long period of time when they themselves, in a similar situation, probably wouldn't get such a break. Well, I don't know whether he's inclined to work with me on it, but I think in general, when you consider the Auditor General's position being one of high accountability, trust and faith and confidence, and I'm talking about unreserved trust, faith, and confidence, has to be affected by that office. And I think if the Speaker doesn't act, he's going to find a lot of pressure coming forward from members of the General Assembly and the general public. I have not. There is a committee. It's an oversight committee And the Oversight Committee consists of both Republicans and Democrats. And in theory, they're to vet candidates very closely. And there was a process. I'm not sure how close the vetting was or how much screening was done, but there is a process for that. Well, as I said before in the release itself, he has hired himself a rather high-profile lawyer, and the lawyer filed a stay with the State Board of Elections saying we don't want any information that you may have or may be able to obtain released to anybody. And that stay has now been lifted. So I guess in my view, it'll be very interesting to see what kind of information we have within the next 2 weeks. Very well. Nope. We have, again, just harken back a minute to the release that I just gave to you. Numerous people have made requests for information and requested answers to questions, and nothing has been forthcoming. And now it appears that we have this Fifth Amendment that's hung over everything up until now. So we need to see, I guess, from a practical standpoint, if there's anything that will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. But at this point, I would just simply say this. You know, we're asking the Auditor General, who audits the State Board of Election, I guess, to audit them at some point in time. So we have a bit of a conflict here going on. But, sir, I guess to respond to your question directly, we've had 6 months of being stonewalled. And the general public doesn't like that, and I guarantee you the General Assembly doesn't like that. Thanks.